Welcome to this September video of Drawing Out the Dreaming. The time of berries, elder, blackberry, viburnum and haws. I collected my herb cabinets from Cornwall and have been preparing them for our forthcoming exhibition. I've been drying hawthorn and blackberries and elder, ready to make into tinctures to put in the cabinets. I've chosen bramble, wild rose, hawthorn, elder and birch. When the berries are fully dry, I'll bottle them and cover them with vodka and steep them to make a tincture. We finally managed to visit our daughter and her family in Cornwall in early September. They overlook the Foul estuary, and John always finds views to paint from their place. He's painted Cornwall in every season over the years. It was so nourishing to watch the sun rising and setting every day. Felix, our daughter's partner, has made the 5 boxes for my new herb cabinets that would be part of the Materia Metaphysica series in my next exhibition. He's a talented furniture maker and particularly loves working with wood. I really appreciate him finding the time to make the boxes in his busy schedule. He was invited to exhibit his beautiful moon chairs at a London Young Designers exhibition before lockdown. His workshop is on a farm where our daughter Mary used to live. It's now a creative collective of makers and artists. The Materia Metaphysica cabinets are a development of my first invocation cabinet that I exhibited last year, a fly agaric. I've selected 5 of the divination card illuminations that I've been working on all year, and I'll fill the cabinets with the dried specimens of the plants, studies of their symbiotic birds and insects, and I'll display them with the potions and lotions that I'll have made from the plants. First I have to paint the boxes and then gild writing onto the frames. I love the process of bringing all the elements together. We stayed on a few extra days on the Helford River and rented a Roma caravan for a few nights. It was blissfully peaceful and the hosts were lovely. We were able to spend most of our time living out of doors, despite my having a bad back. I couldn't walk as much as we'd have liked, but being by the sea was good medicine, and we managed to visit a lovely art gallery and garden called Kessel Barton. It's also an educational centre, and when we visited, there were some children's writers giving a talk to local primary schools. We also visited the potager garden near Constantine. It's situated in renovated old greenhouses, and there's a daily short menu of delicious locally grown vegetarian dishes. There's also a community of artist studios there. It had a very relaxed atmosphere and was really inspiring. Cornwall has always been our favourite place to holiday, and is even more so now that our daughter has settled there. And now we're home in our own lush valleys, preparing for our exhibition. The season is turning, and there's a smell of autumn in the air. I'm busy preparing my boxes for painting, and John has begun his annual Sisyphean task of preparing the studio. My first task is to choose colours suitable for each painting. I then need to coat each box and frame in several layers of gesso to get a smooth finish. Being an old chapel, the studio ceiling is over 40 foot high, and over the years John has devised a 40-foot pole to first dust and then paint the entire ceiling. This slightly eccentric method of annual refreshing has kept the studio going for over 35 years. The alternative would be having to erect scaffolding every year. Once this task is completed, we'll finish clearing the studio and then be able to collect our work from the framers. It's always felt a bit like putting on a wedding every year. In fact, our son did get married in this space several years ago. 80 people dancing on the floor was quite a test of strength for it. Meanwhile, because we had no rain in August, the garden's become very dry, so I've been concentrating on watering the pots outside our kitchen door. It's just not possible to water the entire garden, but I know from past experience it's very forgiving, and everything will come back afresh next spring. This little area has been my main focus of colour and interest over the past few months, and it brings us a lot of pleasure. We've used our slightly quirky new seating area quite a lot for all sorts of things. Our herb garden is always productive and provides most of my needs for all the potions and lotions throughout the year. I dry and store a lot of it for winter use. The valerian seeds prolifically, and I've dotted seedlings in the back of the herbaceous borders to add a light froth of graceful pale pink. Over the years, I've kept notes of my herb studies in a book that a friend made me. It's a collection of ideas and inspiration that helps me focus my interest. John Nash and Winifred Nicholson are two of my favourite artists, and the word viriditas was coined by Hildegard of Bingen to describe the green energy of the plant world, as in Dylan Thomas's The Force That Through the Green Fuse Drives the Flower. This book has become an important focus for my Ovate Studies on herbs. It's a collection of all the folk names of common plants, and a record of the virtues of each plant's energetics for my vibrational flower essences that I make, and also my Ockham and rune studies. Richard Maybe's Flora Britannica is a marvellous source of the varying local names of plants throughout the land and what they meant to communities. The names read like a magical chant. Plants played such an important part in our ancestors' daily lives, and their healing virtues were known and needed by all. It's each plant's unique and individual character and virtue that I try to share in my illuminations, and I add to this book as I continually discover new qualities about them. The most valuable and precious skill that I've gained from my 7-year herbal apprenticeship is the ability to dream and journey with plants and bring back messages and wisdom from them. I've written down every journey and dream that I've experienced, and I hope to pass this on to my descendants. Learning the Ockham alphabet as part of my Ovate studies is about so much more than just a collection of trees representing letters of the alphabet. Each symbol contained the magical essence of the individual tree, such as birch symbolising birth and new beginnings, and oak, strength, endurance and wisdom. Each symbol also has a runic correspondent. The book is also a record of my design for our moon dial. This is the design for the base plate mandala. It reflects the birds and animals, plants and moon phases for each of the 8 Celtic festivals of the year: Imbolc, the vernal equinox; Beltane, midsummer solstice; Lammas, autumn equinox; Samhain and winter solstice. It also reflects the ancient Welsh deities of my homeland. Along with planetary symbols, it was all etched into brass by the sundial maker Harriet James, who lives in Wiltshire. I spent a long time working out the order of everything, and it's important to me because it has all my beliefs and interests combined into one object that graces our garden. It literally routes my beliefs to the land through a lightning conductor that earths it. I think it would be easy to forget some of the wisdom I've received from the plants as I get older if I hadn't written it all down in one place. Although I have never intended becoming a medical herbalist, the course has been invaluable to me as a painter, deepening my understanding of the plants that I love to paint. And the aim of the course was to find individual ways of sharing our love and knowledge of plants with others. And my way of doing this is through my illuminations, and also the herb books that I've created with Nathaniel Hughes, and finally the divination cards when the deck is completed. I certainly would never have developed the idea of my Materia Metaphysica cabinets without the experience I've gained on the course. They're a culmination of my painting alongside the medicines and vibrational essences that I've learned to make. All these are bound with the physical presence of the plant in the cabinet, with a focused intention of creating a healing object of green magic. Nettle's an example of a plant that's often overlooked as a weed just because it's commonplace, yet its medicine is powerful. Roots, leaves and seeds can all be taken as tincture, tea or added to soups. It's physically strengthening, but energetically it's also protective. It has a warrior energy. Then there's Marshmallow. It has such a different quality, yet is equally deeply nourishing in another, softer way. It's grounding and soothing, I found that marshmallow root tea is really helpful after a shock. When you can feel scattered, it brings you back to earth and back to yourself. The soft leaves have a strokeable quality, hence the presence of the mouse. And then Archangelica, another strong character, reaching to the heavens with her thrusting upward energy. I see her as a conduit to visions and dreaming. I often dream of swans, and I feel they are Angelica's animal familiar. Next month, I'll be making hawthorn tincture, showing the assembly of my herb cabinets, and offering a preview of our upcoming November exhibition. And meanwhile, I wish you sweet dreaming, and as always, may the plants be with you.